Got a few more questions for you before I get into my final question. What is your favorite thing about being a filmmaker?
That's a good question. But I think I've talked about it enough already. It's like the main thing, honestly, the best thing ever is me sitting down here, conjuring up an idea, and 1 week, 2 weeks, 6 months, 1 year later, it's right there. It's tangible. Turning the intangible to tangible, there's that feeling right there is there's nothing like it. I think that's my favorite thing for sure. I think it's the coolest thing. It blows my mind. Like, I mean, everybody always says like, your thoughts turn into words or your thoughts turn into action. And it's true. But getting to actually see that in a creative way is phenomenal to me. One thing I am liking a lot now is actually meeting people, being on set, like, and talking to other creatives that are doing the same thing I'm doing or have been in the same position I am in right now. I really love the spaces it's taking me in, the people it's allowing me to meet, the lessons I'm allowed to learn just by holding a camera. It's crazy, like people when people hang out with me or like I'm filming them or they see like me on set or doing something like wow, like that's crazy. Like actually a lot of work goes into this little 30-second 10-second video that you watch. I remember like people were editing that for like what 10 hours, a whole week, 2 weeks, just for you to like even stop motion. So man, it takes forever. Takes forever to do. And you're just watching there like, oh yeah, that's cool. But it takes a lot of work. So being able to be like grateful and appreciate the process of making something is something that I starting to enjoy as well too. That's the process of it, really, not necessarily the destination, but like that what makes the pieces of the puzzle move, what puts everything together. That's to see that and be a part of that. That's really fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I can imagine, man. Yeah, I could definitely imagine. Three tips for somebody who just picked up a camera.
Oh, three tips. Film whatever. Film, go outside and record. Press that record button, play around with it. Just figure it. Like, don't be afraid to fail with your camera. It doesn't have to be perfect because oftentimes the shot that you think doesn't work or didn't, it can blow your mind. Once you get into the editing room, like, wow, okay, this is exactly what I needed. Don't be scared to film anything. Just go outside, film. If it's yourself, stand in front of the camera, do a couple poses, do it. Literally, one of my first videos that I made for myself was me standing outside in front of my car, and I was just like hanging around, and I just did that different shots like that. That go outside. Don't be obsessed with gear. Don't be obsessed with gear. Don't be obsessed with, oh my gosh, I need to get the best lens. I need the best microphone. I need the best stand. Because honestly, I think that is what trains your creative mind the most. Not having everything, but making it work still, like finding a solution to that. That's what's really going to challenge your creativity, and it's challenged mine, honestly. So yeah, don't be obsessed with gear. Another thing for filmmakers, picking up a camera. Um, I'll say, I mean, yeah, you gotta learn all the little like the things about it. You gotta learn your camera. Be like you can't. I think that kind of goes with the first tip, honestly. Let's say, yeah, don't be afraid. I already got those. Those are the two big tips, honestly. Like, don't be afraid to film and don't be obsessed with not having everything. It's the camera, it's the person behind the camera that is. most important with anything, honestly, like that. Yeah, those are the two tips that I can't go wrong with the third one.
No, that's cool. I think those are two important ones anyway, so it works out.
Yeah.
Nikon, Canon, or Sony, or other.
So, well, it really depends on what you. I'm biased. I love Sony cameras because of the look, the color, everything. Canon typically people will say that it's going to be more for photography, but there are amazing Canon cameras that have. I mean, they're using that for film and whatnot. Nikon is specifically, I would say definitely more leaning towards the photography side. Like if you want to take good photos, definitely pick up a Nikon camera. But if you want to get into film, yeah, a Canon camera or a Sony camera. But then again, going back to my own tip, if you have something that is able to record, go crazy, have fun. You'll get to the place where you need to get to in terms of like the gear that you need to create what you need to create. But Sony for sure, though. I'm gonna say Sony.
No, that's real. That's real. If you had to make a documentary about one thing, what would it be?
You know, that's a good question. I was just talking to someone about this as well too. Um, it would be mainly about artists, not and when I say artists, mainly like painters, drawers. Uh, I feel like that scene is very, it's it has its own niche, I think, but the creative process that I mean, anybody that can draw, to me, it blows my mind. Like I'm a terrible drawer. I'm sticks figures for life, 100%. My storyboards, stick figures. You can't tell me no. I've been blessed to be in the opportunity, blessed to be in the spaces where I've seen artists and do their work, present their work, art curators, um, you know, grab a collection of art pieces and use them to tell the story. I think it's so beautiful. I think it's really dope. And especially here in Atlanta, like the art scene here in Atlanta is amazing, but people don't really know a lot about it. And as with everything, it's just definitely want to be a vessel to educate everybody on what really goes on behind, behind the scenes, what's going on in the head of an artist as they, put the paintbrush to the canvas, or the art curator, what an art curator is really looking for to tell a story, these stories behind these pieces and whatnot and stuff like that. I think it's really cool. So yeah, that would be the documentary I'll make right now.
Okay. No, I think that'll be dope. I definitely think that'll be dope. Last but not least for these questions, give me your three favorite films.
Three favorite films. It's crazy because I have mine like right here, honestly. Yeah. Interstellar, for sure. Interstellar is a beautiful film for me. Whiplash, that's my second. Kill Bill, yes. I love Kill Bill. I just like Quentin Tarantino style. Kill Bill is phenomenal. But honestly, this might be a shock to some people, might or anyone. They be like, "Cow, what?" Because a lot of people don't like the film. 500 Days of Summer. That's I don't know if you heard of that film before.
I've heard of it. I don't think I've seen it, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's a little like rom-com sort of thing. It's the way that it's such an unorthodox movie. I just loved everything. I remember the first time I watched it, and it's always resonated with me for some sort of reason. So yeah, those three: Interstellar by Christopher Nolan, Whiplash by Damien Chazelle, and yeah, 500 Days of Summer for sure. What's your favorite movie? What are your three favorite?
I have three favorite movies. I'm very biased. Like I know it's gonna be sports movies, bro. It's extremely biased. But no, so Coach Carter is definitely one of my favorite movies. Coach Carter, Boomerang, and I want to say there's an action movie, but the weird thing with movies is I won't go back and watch movies like a lot. Like I'm not that much of a movie buff per se. But if I had to do a third movie that I would consider my favorite, probably Life with Eddie.
Like,
Yeah, that'd probably be
yeah, and Martin. Yeah, that's a good movie. That's solid. It's really hard to answer that question. Everyone's asking me like, what is your favorite movie? There's never, I don't think you can ever have like one favorite movie. I think if you ask any like filmmaker or anything like that, they always give you like a collection of like
It's like
movies.
3 to 5.
Yeah,
Easily, it's gonna be 3 to 5 for
yeah.
sure.
That's what I always tell people. Like when I ask people that question, like give me your five, like your top five movies, or like the last movie that you watched that made you feel something, or like something like that. And that way
That's
they,
that
yeah.
would have been a better question. Yeah, that would have been. But
I got you. That I can tell you that was Heat.
mm,
It's Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, 1995. That's a great movie. And also Sofia Coppola's Lost in Translation. I don't know, I'm going to movies now. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, that's a good movie as well. Big
no,
fact.
yeah, no. I mean, look, I might have to go back and watch them now. Now that you brought them up, but
You mentioned that you don't really, I'm not a big like, I don't I don't watch movies like over and over again. I kind of like once I watch it once, I kind of like to forget about it and then watch it again, like maybe 2 or 3 years down the road or something
yeah,
like that, so I can like re-experience that feeling again. But yeah, I don't really like watch them over and over again and stuff like that.
yeah, no, that's real. That's real.